Hi there, I'm Grier from the Sony Centre in Carlisle, and today we are joined by Sam Pilling from Sony, who's brought us something new to have a look at.
Yeah, it's the new vlogging cam Zv1, a brand new concept from Sony which is designed to really open up camera and videography technology to vloggers.
So it's aimed specifically at vloggers. It's not an RX high quality stills camera.
Well, it'll still take high quality stills, but it's actually very different in many ways from an RX. It shares a lot of the technologies you'll find in an RX 100, such as a 1-inch sensor, fast phase autofocus, and it will take fantastic still images, but it's actually been designed to really appeal to vloggers. And that's because at the moment, vlogging is huge. It's growing exponentially, and it's actually the most preferred future profession for children between the age of 10 to 15, the second being teacher and the third being a sports star. But vlogging is huge at the moment, and this particular product is aimed at those people who want to shoot better vlogs. In fact, currently 73% of people shooting vlogs are using a mobile phone. They're only using a mobile phone to capture the video, and we think with a product like this, they could capture something even better.
I noticed the feel of it and the design is quite different for Sony, with the screen being hinged on the left hand side rather than flipping up from the back.
Yeah, it is a new design for us, and that's an important factor of this camera. If you go around it physically, there's lots of changes. You have the fact that the grip has been redesigned, so if you are holding it in a selfie style, your thumb will sit really easily between the lens and the grip itself. The LCD screen, like you say, will rotate in a variety of different angles and 180 degrees to face you. You can also fold it in so it protects the screen when the camera's in your bag. That will also turn the camera on and off if you want it to. And you can't miss that large dead cat wind noise killing fluffy bit on the top, which will make sure your audio quality is fantastic when shooting outdoors, out and about.
And we've got 24 to 70 on the zoom range?
Yeah, it's a 24 to 70 Zeiss lens, and in many ways it feels familiar because it's quite similar to the lens that we put on an RX 100 Mark 5A. However, it's not exactly the same, and the image stabilization you'll get when shooting 4K video is vastly improved from standard image stabilization. It's 11 times better.
And I noticed the lens is quite fast, it's f1.8, so very good for background defocus.
Really good for background defocus, and there's two important points to mention on this. Number one, it's a really bright lens and will let in plenty of light, but there's a built-in neutral density filter, a bit like sunglasses for your lens, which can automatically turn on and off to make sure you don't overexpose your video. The second thing, you mentioned bokeh or background defocus. There's a dedicated background defocus button so that if you want to make better videos but you don't necessarily understand the techniques used to create those videos, you can create background bokeh or background defocus while shooting video with a simple click of a button.
So are there any other reasons why we would use this other than a mobile phone for vlogging?
That's a really good question. There are loads of reasons why this is perhaps preferable to a mobile phone. Very few mobile phones can create that defocus background effect to give you a professional looking video. Some can, some can't, but it's rare to find. Most mobile phones, if you're shooting with them and using the selfie camera, you're not usually using the best camera and lens that the phone has. Usually that's found on the back of a mobile phone. So with this, you're naturally using the best possible lens and sensor combination. With mobile phones, quite often you have to use the microphone that's been built into the mobile phone. With this, you can see not only do we have the large 3-channel microphone in the top of the camera, you also have the option to plug in an external microphone through a jack in the side, or if you want, through the hot shoe, you could even plug in studio XLR microphones. Another feature is the fact that you can swap in and out the battery, so if you need a spare battery, it's very, very easy to swap the battery unlike a mobile phone. The only advantage you might say you have with a mobile phone is how easy it is to share your video on it with a mobile phone, and that's why we have a range of dedicated apps to quickly transfer your video direct from the camera to your mobile phone to share on social media. So there's lots and lots of reasons why this could probably work better for you than a mobile phone.
And obviously it's better than the rest of the camera range for doing the vlogging for as well.
It does certain things better which are suited towards vlogging. One of these features is product showcase setting. If you hit the C2 button, that will turn on product showcase setting, and that means if you hold something up to the camera's lens, like a vlogger who's talking about a product might do, then the focus will no longer prioritize your face. In normal recording, it's using eye autofocus during video to make sure that your face is perfectly sharp. If you turn on product showcase setting, it'll quickly jump to whatever you hold up to the camera before then quickly returning to focus on your face. So it's really smart. I've seen vloggers really struggle with autofocus when they hold something really close to a camera's lens. Quite often they'll hold their hand behind the product they're showing to help the camera focus. It's not necessary with this. The other thing that's a first with this particular camera, if you're vlogging and you're traveling around and maybe you're in a variety of different situations and in different lighting situations, this is the first one of our cameras which will take exposure readings from your face. So if you walk underneath a dark bridge when exploring a new city and vlogging, your exposure will remain perfect on your face, whereas your background may get brighter or darker. So it's really well suited to a variety of different vlogging, either product vlogging or in that case, travel vlogging.
I noticed the menus are very similar to the rest of the Sony range, and so everything is familiar on the actual operation.
Yeah, and everything's like with all Sony cameras these days, everything's very, very easy to customize. So you don't have to have C2 set to be the product showcase setting. You can also create a My Menu where you put your favorite settings into a dedicated favorites menu. So it's really easy to use and really familiar.
And it's got touch autofocus on the screen as well.
Yes, touch autofocus, so it's easy if you're vlogging something other than yourself. If you've got a moving subject, a car, an animal, you can use that touch focus to track a moving object using our incredibly fast phase autofocus. The camera has 315 phase autofocus sensors inside it, so we can use our patented real-time AF tracking technology for both faces, eyes and objects.
And I noticed also it's 20 megapixel
yes,
on the image size.
Yeah, and it will take fantastic images. If you are interested in photography as well as vlogging, it still has all of Sony's great photographic technology in there, and you'll get some cracking images from it.
So I noticed that the windshield is removable.
Yes, it's there to be used to really kill the noise of wind, but we also have something called clear voice technology, which will remove background noises. But there is a multi-interface hot shoe on there. You could use an external microphone, or like I say, you could plug one in through the side. But yes, it's quite a distinctive design.
And the body does feel different to the other cameras in the range. It's very nice to get hold of.
Yeah, and it makes it a very, very lightweight camera. It only weighs 294 grams. So if you are going to be holding it up in that vlogger style for a longer period of time, your arms aren't going to get tired.
So with the fully automatic mode, it is extremely easy to use, but is there any full high-end video features as well?
Yeah, absolutely. So we shoot in full 4K video with this particular product. We don't use any sort of pixel binning. We sample the whole sensor in order to capture really clear video, and you can shoot in log and gamut should you want to. So if you want to shoot really professional looking video but grade it afterwards, you can do that. You can also shoot super slow-mo, so up to 1,000 frames per second slow motion. And of course, like I say, you can attach, if you want to, studio XLR microphones through the multi-interface hot shoe.
And I notice it's again got the tripod mount underneath, so it's going to be compatible with our existing accessories.
Yeah, absolutely. And some of them really lend themselves to vlogging. So the Bluetooth grip, which you've got there, you can pair it with the camera, and the grip will then give you full control over the zoom, start and stop video recording, capture stills, and also there's a custom key on the Bluetooth grip, and that custom key will turn on and off background bokeh. If you want to change that to something else, you can do, but it makes it really intuitive to use straight out the box. You've also got as well its little brother, which again, less controls on this, but has the same functionality that when you're not using it as a grip, it'll also unfold and create handy little tripod. So Grier, what do you think of it?
I think it's a fantastic camera, and it's going to be available from the beginning of June on Centres Direct by clicking the buy button or visiting any of the Sony centres within the UK.
Thanks for having me.
Cheers.